Every revolution in history began as an impossible idea. The light bulb, the airplane, the first human to run a mile in under 4 minutes. Every single one of them was laughed at before it was celebrated. Right now, somewhere inside you is an idea, a dream, a vision. And maybe it scares you. Maybe it feels too far, too risky, too much for someone like you. But let me tell you something. Every person who ever achieved the impossible once stood where you are right now. So, what's your impossible? Because for the next few minutes, we're going to dismantle every reason you think it can't be done and build you into someone who proves them all wrong. Welcome to the Rise series, the place where your potential meets its awakening. The word impossible isn't a fact, it's a perception. It's the label people use when they can't see the path. There's a big difference between a dream and an impossible goal. A dream is something you'd like to have. An impossible goal is something that changes everything if you pull it off. It's so big, so bold, so far beyond the horizon, that even saying it out loud feels risky. Society teaches us to be realistic. Teachers, friends, even family. They're not trying to crush you, they're trying to protect you. But in protecting you, they shrink you. They train you to lower your aim. The truth, every record in history, every world-changing invention, every mind-bending performance belonged to someone who ignored realistic. When Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile, experts said it was physically impossible. The human body wasn't built for it, they claimed. Then he did it, and in the years after, dozens of others followed. Why? Because the impossible was never impossible. It was just unproven. That's where you are right now. Your impossible is just waiting for you to prove it. Before you start chasing the impossible, you have to win the war in your own head, because your brain is a master of disguise. It hides fear as logic. It hides doubt as being practical. Here's the first truth you have to swallow. The voice in your head that tells you you're not ready will never go away. It's not your job to silence it. It's your job to act anyway. Think of your mind like a gatekeeper. Every time you step towards something bigger than yourself, the gatekeeper tries to hold you back. Not because it hates you, but because it wants to keep you safe. But safe never made history. Safe never changed lives. Safe never lit up the scoreboard of human achievement. When you feel that fear, that hesitation, recognize it for what it is. A sign you're on the right track. And here's the key. You don't need all the answers before you start. The impossible is built one decision at a time. You take one step, and the next step appears. You don't wait for the map to be drawn, you draw it by walking. The beginning feels exciting. You set the goal, you feel the rush, you imagine the glory. But then, the honeymoon ends. This is the first wall. The point where excitement fades and reality hits. You realize the goal will take longer, cost more, and hurt more than you thought. Most people quit here, not because they can't do it, but because they mistake discomfort for failure. But here's the truth. Discomfort is evidence that you're growing. If it's hard, you're on the right track. The way to break the first wall is to focus on small wins, not the finish line. That's too far away. Look for tiny, visible progress. One more page written, one more call made, one more mile run. These small wins are like oxygen tanks in deep water. They keep you alive long enough to see the next milestone. And here's a secret. Most people never get past this wall. If you do, you've already separated yourself from 90% of the competition. Motivation is great for starting. Momentum is what keeps you going. Momentum doesn't rely on how you feel in the morning. It doesn't care if you're tired, if it's raining, if nobody is cheering you on. Momentum is built by showing up over and over and over again. You want to make your goal part of your identity. Not I'm trying to become a writer, but I am a writer. Not I'm hoping to get fit, but I am an athlete. When you make it who you are, quitting becomes unnatural. The magic of momentum is that it compounds. A single discipline action today makes the next one easier, and the next, and the next. until your progress becomes unstoppable. Let's get this straight. If your goal is truly impossible in their eyes, the world will push back. People will laugh. They'll criticize. They'll remind you of your failures. Some will even hope you fail, because your courage exposes their comfort. But here's the twist. This resistance is actually confirmation you're moving in the right direction. When the Wright brothers tested their airplane, newspapers mocked them. When innovators pitch bold ideas, investors often reject them at first. History is littered with impossible ideas that met fierce resistance right before changing the world. The pushback isn't a warning to stop, it's a signal to keep going. Every great journey has a point where it feels like nothing's working, where the results don't match the effort, where you question everything. This is the dark valley. It's the most dangerous stage because quitting feels reasonable. But here's what most people don't realize. The dark valley is where the biggest growth happens. It's where you learn patience. It's where you sharpen resilience. It's where you prove to yourself that you're here for the long haul. You don't escape the dark valley by running. You push through it one step at a time. Here's the thing about impossible goals. The moment before you break through feels just like failure. The last mile is the hardest. It's when fatigue is highest. It's when your mind screams for relief. But in reality, you're closer than you think. History shows us that many people quit inches from victory. They never knew how close they were. Don't be one of them. Push through the last mile and watch how quickly everything changes. When you finally cross that line, you're not the same person anymore. It's not just about the goal. It's about the identity you built, the discipline you forged, the courage you proved. And here's the key. Once you've achieved the impossible once, you'll never see limits the same way again. The next time someone says, "That's impossible," you'll just smile and get to work. So here's my challenge to you. Before this day ends, declare your impossible goal. Write it down, say it out loud, tell someone you trust, then start. Not tomorrow, not when things calm down. Now, because the truth is, the impossible is where the magic lives. If this video has lit a fire in you, comment fire so you leave proof that you got the spark. Join the movement of people who refuse to settle. Your impossible is waiting. Go claim it.